Hey guys, and welcome back to A Show About Music, a podcast where we talk about music. And when I say we, I mean me and my multiple personalities. For God's sake, that is my bio or whatever, because that's all I could think of. And it is the saddest, gayest, and sorry, people might hate me for saying this, but gay in old school 2002 at school way where gay meant an insult. It is the saddest, gayest, worst thing I've ever done and said. It will change, but at the moment it just is what it is. I mean, it just feels weird to say I talk to myself about this stuff and hopefully someone listens to this. It just feels stupid saying that, don't you think? Oh, my poor little mate has just fallen off. Oh, put your clothes back on. Right. Okay, yeah, so I was going to change it, but I mean, I don't know. I'm going to have to think of something better, but that's all I could think of in the moment. It just feels weird saying I'm talking on this podcast when, I'm going to be talking about this, I'm going to be talking about that. I don't know why. I feel like whoever's listening to this, we're engaging with each other. I feel like you're replying to me, I'm talking to you, and then you can just reply to me with what you think. And I feel like I can hear you still, even though I can't. But you can actually message me and I will be happy to message you back. Just send me messages and let me know, because I love a good message. When I get a message, I'm like, look, I feel like I have just entered the red carpet. I'm like, oh, messages, fan mail. Oh, hi. Yes, give me the fan mail. My fans love me so much. I'm just an influencer, and I'm so proud and just so grateful for this opportunity. #blessed. But this episode is really important because I wasn't planning on really doing this episode, and for a while, for a few weeks, I have some episodes already pre-recorded. Hate to break the fourth wall, but yeah, they're already pre-recorded. So I was planning on doing this way in advance, but as I just went on my usual Google search about this particular subject, which is Britney Spears, you can already tell because you clicked on this thing. I went on my usual Google search. I always just have a little look, I put her name in. I keep updated, and I saw that there is a documentary about Britney called Framing Britney. It's coming out on February the 5th. So this is why I had to quickly, I've just ran, I was right. I was doing all my research, but there's a lot of research to do and a lot of things to cover. And I'm having to go through different podcasts and really pull out a lot of information. And so you have to hear a lot of different podcasts to kind of get the picture and whatever. But so I was in the middle of doing that. And then obviously rabbit hole, so much to go and so much to look at. Alice in Wonderland, oh my God, there's a pink flamingo. Oh my God, there's a Manhattan Tea Party. There's so much to talk about, so much. So I was going through all this stuff and it was taking me a while. But I've decided, once I saw that this documentary was coming out, I'm run home, ran to Lidl, got a bottle of wine, cheap bottle of wine. Well, actually, it wasn't. It was $7.99. And in Lidl, it should be cheap. And I don't know what wine should cost, but I was $7.99. That's not, I feel like that should taste good. It does actually taste quite good. It's quite a refined taste. It's dry. It's not very sweet, but it has a nice taste. So I don't know. I'm impressed with it. And I was right, get the bottle of wine. I need to research, do the rest of this research, fill it out, film it. I'm going to edit it as soon as possible and throw it out to the world. So this should be out either Friday, Saturday, Sunday, depending on how good I am at being this podcasting bollocks. Then you should see it Friday. If I'm really shite and I'm a lazy little bitch, which is okay, Sunday. But I want it to be before next week, so that I want you guys to watch the documentary and I want you to tell me what you think, and I want to see if the information documentary matches up with what I tell you today. Because what I have done is there's no one on the internet has done this. What I've done is I should get an award. I should get an award for saving lives, whatever that award is, what they give to kids who save their parents from burning houses. Whatever that is, I need to win it. because what I have done is Britney should thank me. I expect a thank you note, Britney. I'm risking my life. I actually, from what I'm telling you today, I feel like I'm risking my life. But a lot of other podcasts have spoken about it. I'm not really too sure about what they've spoken about, but a lot have, and I'm sure this information is out there. What I have pulled this information from is from these two particular podcasts that have have really gone in and devoted their time and energy to saving Britney Spears, and I'm going to shout them out, and I want you to I can't remember what they are right now, but I'm going to edit in what they are right now. Excuse the noise in the background, the washing machine's on and it's just manic, but the podcasts are Eat, Pray, Britney and Britney's Gram, so go and listen. Souls for the bad quality. I think everyone needs to listen to those podcasts, thank them for all their devoting their time and really putting this information out there. It is there's just so much. So, right, first of all, let's just explain this. Britney Spears is under a conservatorship. A conservatorship is something that is done by the courts and the judge has to approve it. And it's actually a few types of conservatorships and we'll go into that. But Britney is under one that is called a probate conservatorship, which basically is designed for people who are very severely incapacitated. People who get a probate conservatorship are very elderly. They struggle to communicate. Paraplegics, is paraplegic the right word? You know, people who can't, they've had an accident, they can't talk, they can't move. They're people who are literally physically, physiologically, body, mentally, everything is physically unable to communicate. These people are usually placed under conservatorships. And a conservatorship is where you basically have someone who in your life who you trust, and in this case it's Britney Spears' father, and then a lawyer, which in this case was Andrew Wallet for a while, but we'll get into all that. And basically they're in charge of your spending, your income, your jobs, but more than just your money and your estate and your houses and all your business affairs. They're in charge of her father has the extra component of being in charge of her decisions, her personal decision making. When you are under a probate conservatorship, it suggests that your judgment is impaired, and therefore there is someone who can make these decisions for you. And these under a probate conservatorship, these people who make these decisions get paid. Well, they get paid a percentage, and when you are Britney Spears making money tour after tour after tour after tour, you are getting money. There's coinage in this, and this is what it's all about. This corruption goes up to the judges in these particular court systems, and I'm telling you that we're blowing the freaking lid off all of it. We're blowing the lid off it right now. We're taking down the judges. We're taking down the court system. This is a revolution, honey, and it starts to, it's actually started a long time ago, but it is happening, and I'm throwing myself into it. Me and my 18 listeners who probably listen for 5 minutes and then click me off and say, well done, Jordan. But bless you. We are going in, honey. And so have a drink and get ready. Because this is so deep and so scary. I'm going to try not to cry because emotionally I'm a little bit, I have my mum's genes and I cry at stuff. I always cry at other people's stuff. My own stuff, I'm like, it's fine. Whatever, I'm going to deal with it. It's cool. When other people go through stuff, or other people, someone won Bake Off, and I watched it the other day and I was in tears. And I don't even care. But I was just in tears because I was like, I'm so proud of you for doing something. Well done. Just to see weddings. Weddings, I don't know what it is. I don't care about love. I don't care about relationships. I don't care about weddings. Nothing. If I watch a wedding on television, tears instantly. A white dress comes on TV 3 seconds later, I'm in tears. Wet, soaking. It is not, I don't know what it is about weddings, but I cannot, even if I know it's a sham wedding. I've cried at Kim Kardashian's weddings. All of them. Knowing that it was all rubbish, and that the one with that guy, and knowing that it's going to end and she's going to lose it, leave in 20 minutes or whatever it was that she was stayed married to him for. Chris Humphries, what a great time. I was in tears. crying. So I'm going to try and not cry about Britney because it is very upsetting what's happened to her. But first of all, let's just start off with, I'm also going to be, if you're listening to this on Spotify, you'll be able to hear the songs that I'm talking about. And the songs I'm going to mention today are songs that we can look at in a different way, because after knowing what she's gone through, it's like she was telling us the whole time. I mean, this stuff was in the press. This stuff isn't hidden. This stuff is out there. People have been trying to shout it from the rooftops for a long time, but it was in the press, but it's been suppressed. Ayanla, fix your life. Sorry, giving you lyrics here. It was in the press, but it was suppressed. And the people involved who were trying to shout the word felt oppressed. And I feel pressed to say this issue. I'm going to stop. I think I'm being funny. I'm absolutely not. Okay, so let's just listen to a song. Okay, if you listen to this on Spotify, you're going to hear the song play. Brilliant. If you're not listening to this on Spotify, then you won't hear the song because copyright. And I'm not paying for that. Soz Britney. I just can't afford it. But let's just go way back to the beginning and hear Hit Me Baby One More Time. Excuse me. This little girl who was like 16 at the time singing a song about Hit Me Baby One More Time. But it was legendary. It's brilliant. I'm so glad that she gave it to us. I'm so glad she gifted us the blessings and the love. And this is just Britney. I'm a huge fan. I don't know if you can tell. Huge fan of Britney. Love her, support her. I used to have this CD. Quickly, I'm just going to say this and then we're going to go really into the conservatorship. But first of all, my history of Britney, I wasn't exactly like a major Britney fan, like my Janet Jackson obsession or Rihanna obsession. But I was always a strong Britney lover, and now I really love her, and I've just kind of really gotten into her music even more so. But when I was 8 years old, this was when I was really getting into music, and my mum had this CD, which if you could see this CD now, it was like a snapshot it wasn't any like Now 21 or whatever, but it was such a snapshot of Great Britain in 2002. Like, if you could just see this CD, like the list, I'm going to do an episode based on this CD list because I can remember a lot of the songs, the major songs. It created me. It made me. It was that was my school. I didn't go to school. My mum was really bohemian, was like, school? What is that? You don't need that. You're smart. Do you know what you're going to do? You're going to go in the last 6 months of year 11 and you're going to pass. I did, honey. Okay. Her parenting is spot on, but she was very much like, look, my baby doesn't want to go to school. I'm not going to force him. So you know what? Stay at home. And, thanks. And how I learnt life was through television, and how I learnt life was through, music. And Britney Spears' Slave for You, which I've heard now is really problematic and we can't really have it. But listen, I was a little slag at 8 years old. I was like in my pants, would be like, slave for you. And I would dance to it and I'd be doing, and this was what made me me. So thanks, mum. My mum really is responsible for making me me. It's terrible. And so anyway, so what am I saying? So I'm going to play one more time, just because Hit Me Baby One More Time, or now it's called Baby Baby One More Time. Maybe the hits, they were like, this is too much. But I'm just wondering if anyone really did hit her. And I hope they didn't. I'm really, after what I've read now, I'm like, someone is doing something. But let's listen to the track. Let's just go back and enjoy our lives. And then we're going to really go into the juice of what is happening. Get ready. Put your belt on, mate. Okay. Baby One More Time. Baby One More Time, Britney Spears. What a legendary. I'm sorry, but that is like, if you want to think about the songs that are should be held up as as in like untouchable, like these songs are for Beethoven, Fur Release springs to mind. Just beautiful composition that's forever around. Should be taught in schools. Whitney Houston's cover of I'll Always Love You, always touch my heart, like we'll never forget her. I love her to death. Anyway, let's just not mention death. And Whip My Hair, Willow Smith, I always put in that category of just legendary songs. And I'm going to throw Baby One More Time in. It's just a cornerstone of who we are as people. Anyway, let's just go into the Britney Spears conservatorship, because I've waffled on for far too much. Let's just fucking get into it. So, the reason why this all popped up, Britney went into this conservatorship in 2008, and it has been a conversation for a while, and there's lots of drama, and we'll go into that as well. But the reason why it all came up is because in 2000 and I think it was 19, honestly, years have just not become a thing because of this whole horrendous pandemic. I just don't know what year I am in. I'm like, oh. So I'm gonna say 2019, could have been 18. Was it? Could have been 18, you know? I don't even know. Anyway, all I know is that on April 11th, okay, first of all, shout out to Britney's Gram. This is who started this. Britney's Gram, Tess and Babs, they have a podcast called Britney's Gram. You can go out and find it, and all these episodes are on there. They are the ones who have really channeled this, and there are other podcasts too, but Britney's Gram, like, they got this jumped off. And thank you, Tess and Babs, love you. They are no longer doing episodes on Britney's Gram, but they have a new podcast that they're doing soon. So if you just stay in the ether, it will come out and you'll see it. But remember Tess and Babs. I'm going to link all of their stuff to this because, like, thank them, praise them, like, give them all the love because this is their info, right? And they are the ones who really got this Free Britney movement jumped off, because this is what happened on April 11th, okay? Tess and Babs got a voicemail from somebody who works as a paralegal in the office that handles Britney's conservatorship. And they get these voicemails. They kind of do this with the show. Britney's Gram, by the way, was a show that was just analysing Britney Spears' Instagram posts because she's weird and she's quirky and she's like flowers and like all of this stuff. And I mean, she's really took a turn recently. We can go into that at some point. But, you know, back then she would just post these really nice kind of funny things, and it was lighthearted and it was lovely. And people would give their voicemails in. And someone left this voicemail. Usually the conservatorship is for people who are in comas and who are elderly and just incapacitated in some kind of form. And her legal guardians is Jamie Spears, her dad, who's in charge of business and personal life decisions, and Andrew Wallet, who's her lawyer and is in charge of just the estates. Okay. That's what happened. But in 2009, Andrew Wallet, so April 11th, they get this voicemail, which is really concerning. But I'm just going to give you some background on what led up to this moment, okay? Because there was some sketchy posts for a while. There was some sketchy things going on for a while. In March 6th, 2019, Andrew Wallet, okay, is in charge of her estate. He abruptly resigns, okay? And we don't know why. Britney has at this point done a Vegas tour. She's done a Vegas tour. She's then gone on a world tour. So the Vegas residency, then did a world tour, and then signed up for a second Vegas residency. And she was going to do that that was kind of announced at the end of 2018, so going into 2019. Apparently there was like an announcement, and people were kind of sketchy about this. It looked like she had like a panic attack or something when they announced her Vegas residency. Something weird happened. But on January the 4th, 2019, it was announced on Instagram that the residency was cancelled because her father, Jamie Spears, almost died. And that was what was used in the thing. It was like, hey, my father's almost died of a colon rupture. So that was the story. Residency cancelled, dad died, almost died of colon rupture. Then 3 days after that post, Britney was spotted driving. Red flag, driving, because guess what? On her conservatorship, she's not allowed to drive. That is literally, her dad was like, she can't drive. That's not like, it's literally just because her conservator was like, she can't do these things. And we will go into more of what she can't do. But one of those things is driving. And if you know Britney Spears, as well as I know Britney Spears, because we're besties, you will know that her favorite thing is to drive, because she's been under extreme control and protection her whole entire life. So the way that she said that she used to, only time she ever felt free was she was able to like drive in her car, and she would just go out and drive, and she would just drive and live her life and drive in the car. And I think anyone who is a driver can understand that. I'm not a driver, so I don't get it. But I think people who are drivers understand just getting in your car and just driving off into the distance and playing your music and living your life and having a good time is what helps you feel free. And what's sad is that during those times when she could drive, there would be helicopters following her And because the news, there was at some point on a news site, not a news site, a news channel back in the day, that they would have daily updates on Britney Spears' life. And so helicopters just follow the bitch, like follow her, like, and she'd be like, I just want to drive and live my life here, and you're following me, just let me live my life. So bless her heart. So she's not allowed to drive anymore, so that's sad. But she was seen driving in South Carolina, an In-N-Out place. Britney loves a good fast food. And she was there with her boyfriend, Sam. If you know who Sam is, Sam Agashari, I want to say his name is. He's very good looking. It doesn't look like he's very bright, but he is perfect for her. And I just really hope that he's nice to her, because they really are just like, she looks so happy with him. And I want her to have the fittest man. And he's very good looking. And he seems like he really likes her too. So I'm just like, hope that's just one thing that she has in her life that's good. But she's not supposed to be driving anyway. So that was already sketchy. Then after that day, after In-N-Out Burger driving car, don't see her for months. We don't see her for months. This is like January 4th, 5, 6, 7. January 7th, we don't see her. And then on March 4th now, Andrew Wallet resigns. Andrew Wallet is her lawyer, or a lawyer that is in charge of her estate. So business deals, like money, like Britney, you're doing this Vegas residency. It's because Andrew Wallet wanted you to, and Daddy. Andrew Wallet and Daddy wanted you to do this. So if they didn't want her to do it, if she wanted to do it and they didn't want her to do it, they'd say, don't do it. And she couldn't do it. But if they want her to do it and she's like, no, I'm tired because I've just done a Vegas residency and a tour on top of a tour on top of a tour. This girl has been working constantly since her breakdown, which I'm putting into inverted commas because it's I don't want to swear too much on this thing, but it's rubbish, okay? Since then, she's been in constant work when she's supposed to be ill. And she's been constantly working on tour, tiring day after day. No wonder the girl is like, how is she even alive? So first of all, let's just go back. Andrew Wallet resigns. And Andrew Wallet at the end of 2018 petitioned and got it for a raise of $500,000 to $500,000 a year. So he wanted $35,000 a year for being her conservator. And he wanted to raise that. That was a raise from what he already got. So this man gets it in 2018 and then 4 months later quits. What is that about? Red flags. Again, why is he quitting? You get your raise and now you're going to quit? That's crazy. You've been doing this since 2008. It's 2019 now, like 10 years. Like why are you quitting now? This is what he says. This is what he says in the court. Andrew Wallet says this. The conservatorship is engaged in numerous ongoing business activities requiring immediate attention and is therefore in the best interest of the conservatee, #Britney, that the acceptance of Wallet's resignation and the issuance of amended letters of conservatorship of the estate occur immediately and without delay. He adds, substantial detriment, irreparable harm, and immediate danger will result to the conservatee, Britney, and her estate if the relief requested herein is not granted on an ex parte basis. What the hell does that mean? Substantial detriment and irreparable harm if he's not allowed to be taken off her conservatorship. I mean, what does that mean? That's in the court documents. I'm confused. So that happens. On April 3rd, after not hearing from Britney for months now, not seen her, not heard from her, not a tweet, not an Instagram post, not a wonderful in and out walking of a, when she does her little fashion shows, not a spaghetti strap top in sight, not a gypsy pajama in sight. She is nowhere. April 3rd now. Britney posts a self-care meme and she tags it and she writes in it, we all need to take time for a little me time. Apostrophe. And she does a winky face, but do you know what she does? She doesn't do an emoji. She does the dot and the wink and the smile, but in like old school 2001 way. And Britney loves emojis. She uses emojis, not emoticons. Okay? So that, the use of such symbology just is, people were like, that's not Britney. Because she would put a winky emoji, not an emoticon. See, social media saving lives. Honestly, saving lives, social media. An hour after the self-care meme, we all just need a little me time. Want some self-care. An hour later, TMZ, who you call when you want... TMZ, an hour later, reports that Britney has checked herself into a mental facility the week prior, and that she will be there for a month. So she's posting saying, self-care me, I just need a little me time. But she's already been in the mental facility. Can we just understand that she is in a mental facility and she's been there? She was there a week prior and will be there for over a month. I think that Britney's camp, she'd been in there way longer than that. I think she was there after In-N-Out Burger. I think she literally got in her car, got in her In-N-Out Burger, come home, gave it to her kids, and then dad walked in like, you just drove? Okay, so mental facility for you. Goodbye. Get in there. And I think she's been in there the whole time. That's why we didn't hear from her. So whoever posted self-care meme, oh, me time. You are a liar. You are a fraud. No, I'm disgusted by that. So anyway, she goes into mental hospital. So that's what you hear from TMZ. And that was April 3rd. April 11th is when this, what do you call it? Voicemail comes up on Free Britney's thing. Because I think Tess and Babs were like, hey, like, where's Britney? She hasn't posted in months. Like, we're doing this podcast and like, there's nothing to talk about because we haven't heard from her. Where is she? And now she does this and then the emoticon and like, this is odd. So this is the voicemail. I've written it word for word. This is what it says. Voicemail. Chilling. Okay. He says, I cannot disclose who I am. You guys are onto something. I used to be a paralegal for an attorney that worked with Britney's co-conservatorship. I am no longer with them, but what is happening is disturbing to say the least. Britney was in rehearsals for Domination, which is the other tour that she did. Oh no, Domination's new tour. Domination. Hello, what does that word? Dominates? Who's dominating her? Her father and her horrible legal team? Like, it's in the symbology, guys. She was in a rehearsal for Domination, which is the new tour that she hasn't done. That was cancelled, but she was going to do it. Or the residency, whatever it's called. But it's the new thing that she hasn't done. It came to James' attention that Britney was not taking her medication as prescribed. Medication? What? Who? Hello? She was missing a lot of doses and full on not taking them. I don't think she needs medication. I think she actually doesn't need... She needs less medication because she's doing tour after tour. Like, there's no way you can do all those body movements and do all that under medication. The fact that she's done it this long is bloody brilliant. But, like, hello? Like, what kind of medication? I know that they say that she has mental problems, but I don't think she does. And we will discuss that later on, and then you can give your judgments. But... seriously, like, I know some people with mental illnesses, they need to take their medication and they don't want to take it and it's a problem and we need to get them to do it. Absolutely fine. But that only makes sense when the rest of it matches up, like severe mental illness. But severe mental illness doesn't exist here. And I will show you why it doesn't. Shaving your head does not mean you're mentally ill. Thank you. Shaving your head actually means that you just want to... A lot of women who are divorced want to shave their heads, and a lot of women do it for liberation. And I look at that in 2007 and say it's a liberation. That's what she was doing. Anyway, let's go back to the quote. This is what he says on the thing. She was just flat out not taking them. They got to a doctor and the doctor said, okay, if you don't want to continue these medications, we'll put you on a new one. And she refused to take the new ones. So Jamie said, either you take this medication or the show's off and I'm pulling my support, or you can't do it and you can't do it. So maybe she wants to do the show because it's the only thing she can do because her dad doesn't let her do anything. And it's the only time she can be free. It's when she can just, do her robot moves. And I love it for her for it. I'd go and see her any day. She's queen. So God bless her. So anyway, he says that. What a pig. Britney did not follow Jamie's instructions, so he was true to his word. He pulled the show. He verbatim said, blame it on my illness. He goes to his people and says, blame it on my illness. How dare he? And that's where we get the early January Instagram. So because she wasn't taking a medication, it was like, you're not doing the show. Fast forward a couple of days and Britney is still not taking her medication and she is seen with Sam driving. In-N-Out Burger, okay? A big no-no. A big rule that she broke. Oh no. Britney has been in the mental facility since mid-January. The statement she said, The statement the statement said she entered last week. It's not true. So TMZ liar, or it's been told lies. Hasn't worked at this guy hasn't worked at the firm for 2 weeks, but there is no end in sight for her stay. So he hasn't worked at the firm for 2 weeks, but he says there's no end in sight for her stay at this facility. She did not want to go. Was not a decision she made at all. Wow. By the way, this person was verified, and it's a credible source, and this is not a new thing that she's tried to get out of the conservatorship before, but this is so wow. So let's just dissect this, and then we're going to go to a song. Britney was ready to go and do a tour, was in rehearsals. We've now found out from this phone call that her dad was like, no, she was stopped taking her medication and was like, I don't want to take this medication anymore. I just want to dance. Okay. And I think she's proven herself after all these years that she doesn't really need it now. Like, she's the most functioning human being on the planet. She does not need whatever medication she's on. I just feel like if she's doing that, then they need to wean her off it. Like, hello, what happens to weaning people off medication? She's not that nuts. Like, what is, I just don't understand. Like, I don't know. The medication thing is scary. Because I don't want to put it out there that people who, just stop taking medication are advocate for it if you need to take your medication. But I think that it's very different to someone who is schizophrenic and is going out and, gonna just bash people's heads in for no reason. And then someone who is absolutely working, fine, functioning, completely fine, is a mother of kids and is fine, living her life. Like, if you're able to make billions of dollars a year, or whatever, how many billions she's made, if you're able to pull in billions, I feel like you're okay. Like, I feel like there's people who make billions on this planet who maybe do need medication, and Britney is not one of them. So I think by that point, you can prove to yourself it's not. But by the way, just the idea that you don't want to take a medication and someone else has legal control over you to blackmail you and say, well, I'm going to stop you from doing the thing that you enjoy to do because I want you to take this medication. Sick. Like, only that's kind of scary. Like, there's red flags. Okay. She doesn't exhibit the behavior of someone who really needs to be on this medication. She wouldn't be able to do everything she does if she wasn't. And there's no evidence to show that she's a bipolar mental person. She's not behaved badly when she works. She's like, anyone who works with her just knows that she's perfectly perfect. She doesn't exhibit the behavior. She shaved her head. Oh my freaking God. So freaking what? So did Barack Obama. Like, who cares? So everyone who hasn't shaved their head. Like, so what? Oh my God, it makes me actually angry. Like, I'm frustrated. So anyway, so we're going to just wrap it up. And so she is not taking a medication, is seen at In-N-Out Burger. They are not happy about it. They're like, do you know what? You're driving and you're not taking medication. Bitch, mental facility. And they put her in a mental facility that she didn't want to be in. Then, months later, maybe literally an hour before TMZ put their posts out, maybe TMZ found out she wasn't there and was going to report on it a week ago. That's why they said she's been in there for a week. TMZ said she's been in there for a week because they probably found out a week ago that she was in there. And so they've contacted the Spears people and said, look, we're going to run this story because we know where she is. So now Spears people on the day, an hour before, say, oh, a little me time. I'm just having some me time. Me time in a mental facility? What in the world of Hollywood is going on here? Me time in a mental facility. Oh, God. Is that what it is now? Oh, I'm just going to have some me time. Forced into a mental facility for months. This voicemail just comes in and blows the lid of everything. Okay, well, let's have a break. Gonna play a song for you, Britney Spears. This is my favorite Britney Spears song. My favorite one. Okay, it's called Overprotected. What album is it from? It's from the album called Britney. It's her third album, came out in 2001, of course. It had Slave for You on the same album, but Overprotected is one of my favorite songs. It is just everything I need. Like, if I could make a song and sing a song that's like this every day, like if I could make a career from this one track, like, I would love to. This is who I am in a nutshell. I love this song so much. I just think it's great. But when you listen to the lyrics, it's really disturbing because she's talking about being overprotected and like, I just want to live my life. And this is a girl that from her childhood had bodyguards just holding her. She doesn't walk anywhere. She just gets carried. She literally gets out the car and there's men holding both of her arms and they literally just like carry her with her arms and her legs are just going forward and backward, but she doesn't know where she's going. She's just being taken to the next thing and plopped down there and then like, now perform. And she's like, ah! You know, that it's not a life, but overprotected. Let's listen to it, enjoy it, and then we're going to go back into more of this terrifying story. So that is Overprotected by Britney Spears, one of the best songs of all time. Absolutely should be in the Rock Hall of Fame. I don't know if she is, but she should be. So let's go way back. We're going to go back to Britney Spears in 2008. Let's find out why this conservatorship even got into place. What happened? What's going into it? There's a lot to this and it's just very scary. So January 4th, 2008. January isn't a good month for Britney. I have a really bad month in September, October, November. September, October, November aren't great for me. November usually is horrendous. When November comes around, I'm like, brace yourselves. January is not a good time for Britney. New year, definitely a bad time for her. So January 4th, Britney is forced into psychiatric care on a 4150 order. If you've heard of a 4150 order, this is something that has been talked about. Kanye West has discussed this and he's tweeted about it. It seems to be a running theme that celebrities who, I don't know what's going on with them, but for some reason people feel like they need to be put into a mental hospital institution, and it's through this order that a lot of them are able to do it. And I think that you do it once, you can repeat it. I think you do it once, you set precedent, and you can keep doing it, and it just works. And if you're in with all that corruption, it works. So I really do think Britney there's a few things, and specifically the probate conservatorship is definitely, there's reason to believe that she was kind of used as somewhat of an experiment to be able to do this and see if it works, and then let's go forward. But it's not going to work because we're taking you all down. Okay, so Britney was forced into the psychiatric care. This is the time when, I don't know if anyone remembers, but she locked herself in the bathroom with one of her children. And it was during a custody dispute with the kids' fathers. I think Kevin Federline, I don't know, K-Fed, whatever, that guy. And she locked herself in the bathroom. And obviously, I guess if she's locking herself in the bathroom with the kid, there's something scary going on and she's not happy. There's a video on social media, and I'm providing a link to a Twitter feed that will tell you all this information and actually has the evidence of what they're claiming. And it's court documents, it's newspaper articles and quotes, it's video, everything. So you can see the video of this, and it is horrible. It is her in a ambulance, and the press and the paparazzi just absolutely fighting for their lives to take pictures of her with their cameras. And whoever's taking the video gets a camera inside, and they actually can see through the window her. Can you imagine the distress this girl's under? She has to deal with this press, paparazzi, and they're driving to the mental hospital and they are chasing it, banging on the thing, fighting like dogs. It's disgusting. And then they're like, yeah, they just chase it the whole way there, and it's horrible and it's really disgusting and it's painful, and I feel so sorry for her. So a normal 5150 order means the person has to stay in wherever they're taken in the hospital for 72 hours. Britney was actually released the next day because they felt like she wasn't suffering from any mental health issues. So she's released the next day when she should have been there for 72 hours. Because the people felt like she shouldn't be here. Like, she's fine. Can you imagine? Like, they sat down and spoke to her, and she's like, oh yeah, I'm a normal person and this is how I'm feeling. And they're like, this isn't a mental person. This isn't someone who needs to be in here on a 5150. Like, what are you talking about? She's not like trying to stab us. So that's what happened there. January 31st. Britney's forced into a hospital again. This one seems to be a bit more planned because they've actually cooperated with the LAPD team and had helicopters and created a motorcade to make sure she could get there safely. Like, literally like she's Princess Diana. The way we treat these women is disgusting, okay? The press is gross. In those days, that kind of press as well. Disgusting. That same day that she was organized to go into a mental hospital. By the way, not like she wanted to go, like, hey, we're putting you into a mental hospital now. Like, someone planned it because the LAPD was set up a motorcade, but it wasn't because she wanted to go. And that same day, her father put this paperwork together to take it to court so that he could get the conservatorship, claiming that Britney was suffering from a dementia-related illness. Dementia. Hello, this girl is younger than anyone. She's definitely at that. Look, dementia? Are you serious? She doesn't have dementia. She wouldn't be able to rehearse those dance moves. She's like, how could she have dementia? You're such a liar. What a liar. That is so disgusting. And I'm sure I can see why he said dementia, because the particular conservatorship that she's under, probate conservatorship, is only meant for people who are elderly and in comas and who are suffering and can't even speak and, who actually have dementia. Like, 90, 100-year-old people who really do actually have dementia and need this help. But you're just coming in with your big ass self, giving it to your 20-something-year-old daughter? Because of what? She shaved her head? You silly little man. I am so angry with him and I don't like him and I really want to tell him off. Jamie Spears, how dare you? So anyway, someone who is about to go into a conservatorship, a proposed conservatee, they're required to be given 5 days notice before the hearing. But Britney's dad petitioned to the court to not give Britney any notice. So she's in a mental hospital and she's not given any notice that she's about to be put under this conservatorship. And she gets put under it. February 2nd, the dad tried to get a psychiatrist who has come out and said this to support his claims. But the psychiatrist refused to speak to the attorney because he felt like it was not cool. In February 4th, 2 days afterwards, Britney gets her own lawyer. So she's now in the mental institution while she was hospitalized. And she tries to hire a lawyer to stop the conservatorship because she doesn't want to be under it. She's like, what? I'm in here. They've shoved me in here. Shouldn't even be in here. And now they're trying to control my life, put me under this conservatorship. I'm going to hire a lawyer to fight out of this. His name's Adam Streisand, right? This is the court. The court said Britney was not mentally stable enough to hire her own attorney and ejected him from the courtroom. Goodbye. Told you can't. She's not able to hire. Can you just hear this? She's not able. They don't think she's able to hire her own lawyer. What? To at least represent and have a voice in the courtroom? What? What judge? Who did that? You're disgusting. Okay. So the reason why, listen to this. The reason why the court decided that she wasn't able to hire her own lawyer is because a guy called Samuel Ingham, who is currently Britney's advocate in court. So when you're in a conservatorship, you have a court-appointed advocate. The court appoints you an advocate. Now, this is only in a probate conservatorship. There is another conservatorship, which is actually a conservatorship designed for people who have bipolar and people who are suffering in this way. And mental issues. But there's a lot of differences. It's a whole different court. It's called an LPS conservatorship. It's the conservatorship, the people who run the conservatorship, the people who usually, like in Britney's case, her dad and her lawyer, in that situation would not get any money. They wouldn't get a salary, wouldn't get any money, and wouldn't get a percentage of her earnings. They wouldn't be able to have control over her decision making. So there's certain things they can't do in that particular conservatorship. So they won't make any money and they won't be in charge of her decision making. That's not what they want. They want full control. So they've gone and got probate, which is a different one. Okay. So And this one, she's not able to hire. So the court with this. So with the LPS, they don't appoint you you can hire your own lawyer. But with the probate one, you have a court-appointed advocate. And the court-appointed advocate is Samuel Ingham. And he is still the same guy. Okay? He is still... okay, so he's still her court-appointed thing. And he met with Britney, spoke to her for 15 minutes... and surmised through that conversation that she was not capable of hiring her own lawyer. Sat with her for 15 minutes and was like, she's mentally capable to hire her own lawyer. Like, what does he mean? What, she's going to hire a really bad lawyer? So what? What? She's not mentally... What does that even mean? She's not mentally capable to hire her own lawyer. She literally got a lawyer, a legitimate lawyer, who's very well known, by the way. Adam Streisand is a good lawyer. She got him, and he's going to represent her. How can you mean? What do you mean she's not mentally capable to hire her own lawyer? That doesn't make any sense. You're a liar. So crazy, absolutely crazy. And that's her court advocate today. So what a great advocate. Someone doesn't want you to have your own voice in court. And poor Adam Streisand goes there and he can't do nothing. February 12th now. Britney attempted to hire another attorney and his name was Jonathan Erdley. He spoke to her on the phone and he claimed in the press, in quotes, he said that someone wrestled the phone away and he never heard from her again. Are you kidding me? She hires another lawyer and someone wrestles the phone away from her? This is sick. This is printed on you can go and see the articles where he says that. Mr. Erdley, he obviously attempted to take this case to court, Britney's case from state court to federal court, saying she was denied her civil rights. So he wanted to take it from state court to federal court and be like, she's not having her human rights. This is from the court documents. I'm going to have to sip on my wine. I'm stressed. I'm trying to keep this very concise and you guys just like hearing this. But I'm just so angry about it. Like, I can't even I'm just trying to calm. So the court documents, Britney attempted to get conservatorship removed from the second time with the lawyer John Erdley. And this is what John Erdley wrote in a statement. He said, the conservatee argues that the case should be remanded to the state court. However, other than unilateral statements from court-appointed officials, there is nothing in the record of proceedings that it was impossible to provide Britney with a hearing and a notice of a hearing that would have afforded her basic constitutional due process and the right to be heard as to the appropriateness of her father, Jamie Spears, being appointed co-conservator. So basically, in a nutshell, that means there's no reason apart from unilateral statements from court-appointed officials, there's no other recordings to say that she shouldn't be able to hire her own lawyer. So he's like, what are you doing, mate? Mr. Spears has now moved into her house and taken control of her financial assets as well as her physical custody. That means he's basically imprisoned her. All without the benefit of a hearing where Miss Spears would be present. So she hasn't even been able to have a hearing and give her point of view and say, I don't want this. They've just gone, okay. Oh, you think that she needs to be under conservatorship? All right then. Perfect. Let's just go. Get this conservatorship done. Like, that's what they're like. Hello, you didn't even ask her. You haven't even spoken to her. You don't even know what she thinks. You don't even know her mind. You've let Samuel Ingham speak to him for 15 minutes and he's just come out like, I don't think that Britney is mentally capable of choosing her own lawyer because I'm doing what I'm told. You're all so fake and disgusting. How dare any of you? They've made so much money from this. Let me tell you something. The money they've made is disgusting. Additionally, she has been denied her fundamental rights to associate freely. Associate freely means hang out with friends and live her life. And to utilize telephones and other methods of communication with the outside world. So she's not allowed to ring. She's not allowed to use a phone. And this was before social media. Now I think she's allowed to send them stuff to post on her Instagram, but I don't think she's posting. I don't think she can just ring up her friends and be like, hey girl, what you doing? I don't think she's having chats. I don't think she can do that. I think it's all controlled. Clearly, because they're controlling methods of tender communication with the outside world. It continues. The conservatorship has taken away significant liberties from the individual. She has been in a form of private confinement for nearly a month This was back in the day. This is when the conservatorship had just begun. And she's been in private confinement the whole time. That means imprisoned. Certainly, at this point, it is likely that circumstances have changed. It is time that the conservatee be brought into court for a hearing where the court can evaluate her in person and hear testimony directly from her. Additionally, Miss Spears should be allowed to retain her own medical professionals to evaluate her condition. Yeah. Exactly. Not some psychiatrist who's going to do what everyone says and just be like, yeah, she's really mentally ill. Even though she's fine, she should be able to choose her own people. The conservatorship is palpably biased with respect to the conservatee. The conservatee is Jamie Spears, so it's biased towards him. There are financial issues which involve the possible misappropriation. Additionally, Miss Spears should be allowed to retain her own medical professionals to evaluate her condition. There are financial issues which involve the possible misappropriation of assets. Misappropriation. So basically, family are putting money where they shouldn't. These issues will not be discussed herein because counsel has not had the time to declare declarations or other evidence in support of this fact. Further, because it's been like 5 minutes, further counsels informed of this investigation that Miss Spears has never been and is not now on comfortable terms with her live-in father conservator. In fact, counsel being that's what he calls himself. In fact, counsels learned that there has been significant verbal attacks by her live-in father conservator and is concerned for the emotional and physical safety of Britney under these circumstances. So her dad, within 5 minutes of having his conservatorship, is like verbally attacking her and he's scared for her safety. This man is horrendous. By the way, can we just say that her son, there was like something that came out not too long ago, last year or something, where the son accused the dad of physically hurting him. Hello? And the dad, like, just got away with it. Like, there was no problem. Who has he sacrificed? Who has he shook hands with? He has deals. That man is in there with some people. There are some people that are, like, blackmailed. I don't know what it is. But people are allowing this man to be abusive. Can you imagine? Can you imagine how disgusting it is? Hit me, baby, one more time. I just don't even want to go there anyway. US District Court said he couldn't represent Britney. Jonathan Erdley couldn't represent Britney because they'd already said she can't choose her own lawyer, and the case was dismissed. What kind of sick judge listened to this, heard someone say a statement like that amongst other stuff, and just went, oh, well, she can't hire her own lawyer. Would you not be like, okay, I need to hear this? It's crazy to me. It's absolutely insane to me that this is okay, that people said this and this is what kind of, whoever was that judge needs to be taken off the board. I'll call up the California board, let them know, because this is disgusting and it's terrible and it's barbaric and I don't like it. And actually, there's actually quite a history of this happening with a lot of people who are under these conservatorships, because a lot of people of course there's people who are going to take advantage of this. It's happened to Britney, it's happened before, and it's going to happen again. I mean, I bet they were like, right, well, it happens to Britney Spears, and this is the thing. It nearly happened to Lindsay Lohan, but she was somehow got out for the skin of her teeth and went all the way. We'll discuss that in a bit, but she got away from that bullshit. Anyway, so let's listen. Let's go back. After this, a few months after this court situation happened where Britney's been put into the conservatorship, she's told that she can't make her own decisions with her finances. If she wants to wear blue knickers today, she can't. If her dad says you're wearing pink, she's wearing pink. That's literally how it is. Like, Britney, I don't want your hair like that. Change it. Oh, I'm your boss. Change it. You're not eating that. You're not drinking that. You're not doing that. You're going to work today. Like, you better work, bitch. Doesn't that make you think about that song differently? We'll discuss that a bit later as well. But so anyway, after that, a few months later, she bloody goes and she does a part in How I Met Your Mother. So she's mentally ill, apparently, and needs to be in a psychiatric place where she can't make her own decisions, but she can still rehearse. She's got dementia illness, but she can read a script, remember the lines, rehearse, and then go and perform a really great part in How I Met Your Mother. Comedy acting, and she's not even an actress, she's a singer. She's capable of doing that. She's capable of making her own decisions. If she's capable of learning lines and doing an acting job and doing it very well, she's more than capable to choose her own knickers. Don't you think? Don't you think Jamie Spears? Don't you think she can choose her decision? She can drive a car. How dare you? What a sick man doing this to his own child, by the way. What I'm going to say, how dare you a lot of this throughout all of this. I'm just going to try and not do that. But it's just like, how dare you? Like, who do you think you are? Okay. So anyway, she does How I Met Your Mother, kills it, owns the whole show. Then afterwards, she releases Womanizer. Do you remember Womanizer? She released it in September, and this started the circus era. Yeah, what a circus it was. She's like a performing monkey, forced to do whatever. Like they just take her there, you perform and do what you want, and they're gonna put you back in your cage. She lives her life is a circus. Whoever did the whole visuals and chose the theme was actually taking the absolute piss out of her. Yeah, and whoever chose the whole circus theme was absolutely taking the piss out of her, because they were saying, you are a caged animal. You are the lion in the jungle, not a lion in a cage, or put that elephant, Dumbo. Dumbo, like, listen, there is a lot of, I mean, maybe I'm being a little bit too, like, delving into it, but, I mean, the similarities, there's a lot of comparisons. It's like, that's what they think of you, so they're going to make you do this theme. Her music and her imagery and her artistry tells the story of her life and how she really feels, and it's like, no one listened to it. It's so sad. So anyway, in November, so she releases Womanizer in September. In November, she does a documentary, and it's called For the Record. And in it, there are some scenes that were filmed and were going to be in it, but they were deleted. Management said, we don't want those scenes in, and we're taking them out. And in those scenes, she was talking about how she wanted to drive and couldn't. Like, have I got it here? Yeah, so the scenes were later deleted, and basically in the scenes, she's saying how, like, she wants to drive and she can't, and, like, I just want to live a normal life and I can't, and it's all this kind of really depressing stuff. And I think I remember watching it, and she cries. The scenes are in the description of whatever you're listening to this to, so go on the Twitter feed and you'll see it. And and the management were like, we can't. And this is what's happened with her. A lot of the management are saying, like, when she does an interview, you can't they basically really edit what's allowed to go out there. And with the press, that doesn't happen that often. Like, basically, what will happen with her, if someone does an interview and does an article on her, the Spears camp have to okay the article before it goes out. And usually that's not a thing that journalists do. They'll do the interview, they'll put it out there, and it's up to, like, you know, whether it's gone well or not, it's up to them. It doesn't matter what the artist thinks. Like, if it's a bad interview, it's a bad interview. They won't allow that. So around this time, a friend of hers called Andre Gallery, he received a letter from her, and in the letter she wanted him to read it to her fans, but he was then put under an NDA and wasn't allowed to read it. And he actually recently put it on TikTok. You can go and see it. And he says, in the letter, Britney claims that she was lied to and set up, and that the conservators threatened to take her kids away if she petitioned for termination. So they basically were like, oh, we're going to put you under conservatorship, and if you try and, like, do anything about this, we're going to take your kids away, because we can, and we've done it before, so we'll do it again. Bastards, evil. In January 2009, a voicemail leaked in which Britney told attorney, it's a voicemail to John Eardley. Do you remember John Eardley, where the phone was snatched away from her and he never heard from her again? Well, he got a voicemail from her, and I heard this voicemail, and you can hear this voicemail, and in it she does say that her father threatened to take her kids away. So let's be honest here. Britney is being controlled by a family and is forced to work. Maybe at a time where she was like, I don't want to work anymore. I'm tired. I just want to live my life and I want to have a break. And they're like, no, you're not, bitch. Okay, we're going to make you fucking work. Okay, you better work, bitch. That's how disgusting that they are. They make her sing a song, which is a brilliant song, and I freaking love it. And I'm so upset. But it has a different meaning for me now, because they make her sing a song that they probably said to her. Like, you are going to work. This is what it's all about. You are going to work and do what we say, because you're our cash cow, honey. We're going to make you go out there and work. And if you don't want to do it, then we're going to take your kids away. Evil. How disgusting they've got away with this. And when you have a court that's like legally, they're like legally allowed to do that, that's sick. Not nice. Anyway, Britney does the tour in March 2009, starts Circus. So then later in 2009, Lou Taylor, haha, becomes her manager. Okay. And Lou Taylor, I have done research on her. She has recently really tried to distance herself from the Britney Spears camp, but she has actually done this. She was also at some point Lindsay Lohan's manager. This isn't the first time. There is someone called Roger. I can't remember his last name, but he is an old man who basically, in a nutshell, his mother lived in this house, and it was a house, and she was very old, and she was basically like she was in a Hollywood care home because she worked for Hollywood for years, and was in this like care home where specifically for Hollywood workers, whatever. And she owned this house which her son Roger lived in, who is also elderly now. And somehow this Lou Taylor bitch has somehow got into this old lady in the care home and got a conservatorship for her. And so he got a letter saying, you got to get out because your mum is now, I'm a conservator for your mum and I need to deal with this property. And yeah, and there is an interview with him on Tess and Babs podcast as well. She does this Lou Taylor. What she seems to do, and this is what happens with Britney, they make them look insane publicly. Happened to Lindsay as well. Make them look insane. Take them when they're vulnerable and make them look like they're crazy in the press, which you can easily do. Call paparazzi to come at certain points. You can put stuff out in the press about them. You can plant stories. You can make people think. Perez Hilton has a lot to answer for, you little fucker. Okay, so this is when so what she does is she makes them look crazy, puts them into conservatorships, then controls all their money and takes everything that she can get. Evil cow. There was a report that came out in 2009 now. This is over 10 years ago. That said that Lou Taylor was the mastermind behind the conservatorship and brainwashed Britney's dad that this was the way to go. So she signed on to be the manager and then said, look, this is what we need to do and brainwashed him. And he's followed along with it. This is when Lindsay Lohan's father exposed a similar plot during this time, saying that they had also tried to put his daughter into conservatorship. It said Dina and Lou Taylor and Larry Rudolph, whoever Larry Rudolph is. Lou Taylor is the manager and Larry Rudolph is something to do with them. They are putting people, and Lindsay Lohan's dad said that them and Dina are trying to do this to Lindsay. And I think this is when Lindsay was always in court. Do you remember when Lindsay was always in court because she was drink driving? Like, why are you always in? She was getting probation. And then she literally was like, do you know what? Forget this. I'm moving to Mykonos, setting up a nightclub, and I'm going to do my MDMA and my vodka drinking over there. And because we all thought that she was an alcoholic and she was a drug addict and she couldn't breathe and like she needed protecting and she was mentally ill and all of this stuff and just like criminal. But I don't think she was. I think they were setting her up to look like that, to then put her in this conservatorship. And she was smart enough to be like, goodbye. See you later. Deuces, bitches. I'm going off. Poor Britney had kids. Lindsay didn't have kids. Lindsay could just piss off and be like, see you later. Britney had kids with K-Fed. That's a different way. That is a way to mentally control a woman. It's threatened that she cannot look at her kids or be around her kids. Not just look at them, but love them. Okay, so after the Lou Taylor accusations, you don't hear from Britney for ages. Well, actually, you do. You hear from Britney, as in career-wise, but you don't see anything going on behind the scenes. Then in 2011, okay, she does the Femme Fatale tour. And in the Femme Fatale tour, people said she looked heavily medicated. We now know she was. Of course she was. She's medicated now. Well, yeah, she is now. She's medicated now. So she was medicated. And that's why there was certain moves that looked sluggish. Everyone was like, oh, Britney's lost it. Oh, she's no longer, she has been. She's fat. She's ugly. Like, everyone was saying horrible things. And guess what? Forced medication down her throat, which is why she physically couldn't be on point. She's now learned somehow to be on point dancing while under the medication, and I think that's why her moves are somewhat robotic and there's not much emotion or feeling, or like she doesn't really enjoy it there, because she's just like doing her absolute most to to force her muscles into the position they need to be. Because imagine you're trying to dance and be your best and everyone's hating on you for not being your best, and you're under these drugs that slow you down. That's hard. So you would be like, I'm gonna really do this. Oh, she's so strong. Love her. Anyway, Elizabeth Arden sues Britney Spears' camp, Lou Taylor and Jamie Spears, because because basically there was a dispute over the perfume, and they said that it's absolutely ridiculous that the notion that Britney is mentally and emotionally unfit to testify under oath is a sham. So they were saying that Britney cannot go to court to testify under oath with this Elizabeth Arden thing, because she's mentally ill and all this stuff. And the Elizabeth Arden was like, no, it's not. They're liars. In July, the Conservatives bankrupt her charity organisation. She had a charity organisation called Britney Spears Foundation. They bankrupted it and claimed there was only $17 in the assets. By the way, and just to add salt to that wound, there was 50,000. There was you can have a look on the statements. $50,000 out of that charity organisation went to Mercy Ministries in Nashville, where Lou Taylor served as an honorary chair. So she serves as an honorary chair on a charity, and Britney has charity foundation, which is now bankrupt since being under Lou Taylor's since being under Jamie Spears and Andrew Wallett's conservatorship, and Lou Taylor being the manager. 50,000 went to Lou Taylor's charity that she was a honorary chair of. So, and let's be honest, we all know about charities these days, don't we? We all know that the rich kind of do these charities, but they're pocketing a lot of that fucking money because they're disgusting and whatever. $17. So not only did they just take Britney's money and her life and control, but Britney had put money aside for charities that she was doing, and they took that as well. You disgusting, vile people. It makes me so annoyed. I just want to absolutely rip my head off and throw it across the room. In 2012, now Britney was allowed to do X Factor. I say allowed. She was allowed to do X Factor, and there was something on it actually came out on television where legal experts just said, how can she do X Factor and help all these people and do all this stuff, yet be under a conservatorship? It doesn't make sense. And it was really out there, people trying to speak about it. Nothing happened. No one ever talks about it again. Britney's nanny testified saying the pop star was emotionally manipulated in a conservatorship. She testified and said she's emotionally manipulated, and everyone just ignores it. Now, if you're a judge and you're looking at all this information, you've got all these people left, right and centre saying something's going on and there's been so much talk, and the fact that you don't even give her a hearing or that you don't let her hire her own lawyer to defend herself and speak about it is disgusting and it's unethical. And this is why there's so many people who are probably covering this up, because there's a lot of people who are involved. There's a lot of people who are involved and a lot of people who are responsible, and they're all going down, okay? You're going down on this podcast. I hope the FBI are listening. You better hear this. I am really Inspector Gadgeting right now, okay? Inspector Gadget is here today, and I am discovering everything, and you better just take this information and run with it and save Britney. Next song we're going to play is a song that I love because it's from a conspiracy theory about Britney, and this is a really interesting conspiracy theory. Now, Britney at some point before this craziness, before this shit happened to her, was about to do a new album, and the album recorded this album without her management knowing or authorizing it. She did it herself, okay? This is the story of it. What officially did happen is that she did turn up to a radio station one day with a CD with a record on saying, hey, this is my new song. And management had no idea about it and were not happy about it. The record was played on the radio. I actually think that there is confirmation that this actually did happen, because I think it played live, but I'm not too sure if it's just part of the conspiracy theory, but I'm very sure that this is verifiable, that this did happen. And this was the record that she played. It was called Mona Lisa. And do you know what's really strange about the record? Is that the lyrics sound so much like she's saying, I want you to know, basically, that Britney, she's been cloned. That she's been cloned. She's been cloned. And she says cloned quite a lot. And if you go online, the lyrics will say she's been gone, but it sounds like she's saying cloned. So conspiracy theorists are like going wild saying Britney's been cloned. So she could be cloned. And this could be her saying, oh, she's been cloned. Wouldn't that be a turn of fucking events? So Britney might be cloned. And here's the song saying it. What do you think, guys? Let me know. Mona Lisa. I actually like the song. And I think it should have been a record. But hey. Oh, and the management was not happy about it. And they pulled it and wiped it off wiped it down. But it's resurfaced. So here we go. And it's on Spotify. Brilliant. So what do you guys think about that song then? I mean, I really like the song just in general, but it sounds like she's saying she's been cloned, right? I mean, I'm not just making this up in my own head. I'm not just like imagining this. She definitely said it. And by the way, a weirder aspect of the story is that after the Mona Lisa incident, and they went and made her record an album she wanted to, they wanted her to, which was Blackout, which is a really good album. I think it's Blackout. There was a song called Break the Ice, and in the music video, it's a cartoon, as a whole cartoon video, and there's a Britney, and she's in a cloning facility. Like, that is the storyline of the cartoon video. So, I mean, is she cloned? Is this her? There's also this weird thing where they say that she never used to have a gap in her teeth and now she does. So either she's suffered horrendous abuse and there's like gaps in her teeth now, or she has new teeth, or she's a clone. Okay, so we don't know what's going on there, but I thought it was interesting. Anyway, Britney's team, Larry Rudolph and Lou Taylor, business managers. Adam Lieber is also involved in the team. Maverick, he's with Maverick Records. These are the names that we need to take down, okay? So we're going back to the source now, the source that Babs and Tess from Britney's Gram, the one that gave them the voicemail. This is what he has said about the situation as it stands today. We've looked at the way that it the conservatorship happened. We've heard his allegations now, and now we've got more information. So the source says about Andrew Wallet. Andrew Wallet is the lawyer who is co-conservator with Jamie Spears, and Andrew Wallet is just in charge of the estate. This is what the voicemail guy says. The reason why everything happens so fast is because so they're talking about why Andrew Wallet just suddenly decided, I'm going to quit. Like, he just quit out the blue. 4 months after getting the raise, he just quit. The reason why everything happens so fast is because he doesn't want any liability with this whole fiasco. I wouldn't say he's on Britney's side, but he definitely was super uncomfortable with her being forced into a mental institution. Remember, this was in 2019. She was forced into a mental institution because her dad felt that he wasn't happy because she wasn't taking her medication. Okay, and she drove. Which is so bad. It got too messy for him. It was like, I've done all I can do with this and I'm not about to be disbarred. He was scared he was going to be disbarred because of what had happened. It was so unethical and so bad. After all the illegal stuff he's been a part of, he was scared, like, this is too much. I'm going to turn down $500,000 a year because I just can't even be a part of this. So that's what's going on when he goes for the raise. The domination residency was a go. Everything was signed. So for Wallet, it was just going to be a Piece of Me part 2. Piece of Me is one of the tours that she's done. So for him, it was going to be a part 2 of it. But then shit started to go down. There's always been, every few months, rumblings that Britney is, in quotations, misbehaving, which I hate saying even that. It's just the verbiage that's been used, but it never got to be this intense. So every few years, it's like Britney's misbehaving. I just think that's very interesting. And Tess and Babs said this, and I think it's very true. Interesting choice of words to use. Misbehaving. Britney's misbehaving. Now, if someone was not very well and was mentally not great and needed medication and they weren't taking it, would you use the words misbehaving, or would you say so-and-so's having a funny turn? Or like, you know, they're having a break, or like so-and-so's not doing good, or she's unwell. Like, you would never say, oh, she's misbehaving. Misbehaving is like you're not doing what I've told you. She's being naughty. That's crazy. And especially when it's just not taking your medication, or not wanting to take your medication and wanting to drive. The fact that that is what's classed as misbehaving is kind of crazy to me, don't you think? Okay. So whoever used that, so let's just go. So Britney had fired Larry previously, but he was rehired by Jamie once she was under the conservatorship. So she doesn't even want him involved, and Jamie's rehired him with Lou Taylor. Ugh, it's crazy. And then they said to him, did Larry have anything to do with the facility? Larry Rudolph, I think it's a manager. This is management now. And he said, very much so. And then he said, that just triggered a memory of a meeting I was in. And this is what they said. At the very least, this will help with ticket revenue when we re-announce Vegas. So when they were going to put Britney into a mental institution, they said that, well, at the very least, it's going to help with ticket revenue when we re-announce Vegas. As if to say, like, we thought we were going to lose her, and now she's doing Vegas. Oh, we're lucky, guys. Like, that's so bad. I just think this is people who are in charge of her knickers. Like, these are people who are in charge of her life, and this is what they're thinking of. They're just thinking about profit. It's just profit. And you know it's true. Let's be honest. We know people like this. We've heard it all before. He said this, management has final say of what goes in and what stays out. You should see the behaviour if whenever she's booked on something with a live audience, they are freaked the fuck out because whatever leaves her mouth can't just be edited out. Britney would say things like, I would love to go out with my friends, but it's just exhausting to get permission all the time. And they would edit that out. And that's what she also said in her documentary that she did for the record. She said actually on there, she claims her life is too controlled, that people hear what she's saying, but they're not really listening. She's sad. She talks about not being able to be free to freely drive her car, and she misses that and cries a lot. And she's like, says that. She's like, I cry a lot. So sad. It's terrible. So this is what the guy says again. The conservatorship was supposed to end after the circus tour in 2009. The idea was go on tour, show us you're stable and well, and that this conservatorship will help you regain custodial rights. So basically, we're going to put you on this conservatorship because you know what, Britney, it's going to help you keep your kids, and you can get full custodial rights. It will show that you're working with us. Just do the tour and show them that you're cool. Why did it continue, you ask? Well, the guy says that's something I don't have factual evidence for, so I'm not sure. The rumours are the only way Live Nation, who is the people who put on all these tours, the people who were putting on Michael Jackson's tour before he died, they put on loads of tours, and there's a lot of different talk about how whether they're am I shooting myself in the foot by doing this podcast? I don't know. But you know what? There's just been a little bit of conversation about Live Nation. People aren't so sure. Live Nation, if you listen to this, I will sell out, so don't worry. Like, just, you can actually do whatever you want to me, and I want to be in your crew. But what you've done to Britney is awful. But I will sell out and I'll do it. No, I'm joking. Anyway, so this is what. So the rumors are that Live Nation would only insure the Femme Fatale tour if she was still under the conservatorship. If she wasn't under the conservatorship, they wouldn't insure it. I guess it's because they felt like she wasn't. They needed to have the conservatorship, or else it's too risky because she might have a breakdown and shave her head again, and we can't do a Britney show with a shaved head because back in those days, white women weren't really wearing wigs. So they were like, shaves her head? No. Show's over. Now you can just stick a wig on her and I'm sure shaving her head would be fine. But you know what? It was a different time. So they said that the guy says, if you look at any footage of her and it's a bit limited from the Femme Fatale era, you'll notice that she's extremely sluggish and appears to be medicated. Loved Femme Fatale era, loved that music. Listen to it all the time. I used to actually play the live album, and this is so sad. I used to pretend that they were my songs. I've done this quite a few with different artists. Basically two. Well, I always pretend other artists are my songs, but there's two things: Rihanna and Britney Spears, and I used to play their records over and over again and pretend that they were my concerts, and I would literally make sure that I did it every night because I wanted to practice what it's like to put on a concert. And I'd literally be like, right, okay, come home from work or come home from school, whatever I was doing, put the record on, and I'd perform to no one. And there'd be some nights I'd come home and I'd be like, I'm so tired. I'm actually, like, my body's aching and I just really don't want to perform again tonight, but I just have to because I'm a star. And I would make myself put that record on and I would just perform, and I'd have different parts and different things. Listen, crazy, but Femme Fatale was a great time. Loved that album. Anyway, it says that she appears to be medicated. Her and everyone else understanding is that Mr. Spears would petition the court to end the conservatorship after the circus tour, but that didn't happen. From what I understand, Britney had another sort of mental break. So when that didn't happen, Britney broke down again, and I guess they just said she was misbehaving. He was not on first hand to witness the guy. Okay, so he wasn't on first hand to witness it, but there was a rumor he heard. There was actually rumours that something happened in 2010, that she had like another sort of mental breakdown, but nothing was ever confirmed. And clearly now we know the catalyst was because they wouldn't let her out of the conservatorship. And she was like, I've been working this hard to get out of it, and now you're doing this to me. She's been under such stress, this poor girl. Can you imagine? It's literally like she's been taken hostage. I hope people are hearing this and really understanding how really bad this is and how highly illegal and scary, and that we need to shout from the rooftops. Just think about being her right now. Being on tour is hard. Imagine being on tour constantly and not wanting to be. God, she can't even choose her own knickers. Awful. The guy says there are ringleaders of Brit Inc. Lou Taylor, Larry Rudolph, and Adam Lieber. From what I understand, Lou Taylor and Larry Rudolph are managers, and Adam Lieber is from Maverick Records that works with her. Those three are the ringleaders, but they employ a lot of people to keep everything hush-hush. As Hollywood cliche as it is, yes, money is the culprit. They love having her in Vegas. It was a guaranteed paycheck. That's why they squeeze every penny they could get from Piece of Me. I guess Piece of Me was the tour that she did with, was the residency at Vegas. And even that Piece of Me, you want a piece of me. They all want a piece of her. They're disgusting. They literally force her. This is a bit sick. They force her to sing songs repeatedly about her own imprisonment. That's so awful and disgusting. They force her into prison and they're like, you're going to sing about it. And then we're all going to ignore you. It's gaslighting at the nth degree. And the fact that she stayed sane is insane. Like, she's insane because she stayed sane through all of this. Like there's no way you can be normal after dealing with all of this stuff. So they really just wanted to keep her in Vegas and really wanted to keep her on tour as a show pony, force her to work like a slave, like slave for you. Oh my God, like every song I'm just speaking about all these lyrics, songs I didn't even think about and that I wasn't going to play for you. But now I'm like, oh my God, every lyric has to do with this horrendous in captivity that she's in. It's awful. We need to get her out. We need to get her out of this. Whatever we have to do. Storm the Capitol, storm Britney Spears' house, pick her up and bring her somewhere else. Get Jamie Spears out of the White. Like, don't even worry about Donald Trump. Sort this out. God, it's scary. It's actually scary. Like, we need to save her. What's happening? So, apparently the siblings have washed their hands off it because they've tried for so many years and they're to no avail. By the way, Jamie Lynn Spears, remember Jamie Lynn? Zoe 101 got pregnant and that was it. Didn't hear from her again. She's also managed by Lou Taylor. Let's free her as well. God. I would like do you know what I would like? I'm just going to manifest it right now. I would like all of these horrible people to just get out of Britney's life. I don't want her to have any management whatsoever. Like, no, I don't want her to be connected to a record label or anything. I want her to just completely wipe those people from the stage, wipe them, everyone gone, like no one telling her what to do. I want her to have like a few months of just relax in the Bahamas, just chill, have a relax, get yourself together. Then I want her to go and choose her own producers, do her own album, have her own team. I want her to fund it all because she's going to make the money back. I want her to do all the deals herself. Nobody is involved. I want her to do Instagram. I want her to do YouTube channel. I want a reality show. I want her to do everything herself. Complete control. I want her completely in control. And I want Jamie Lynn Spears right beside her. I want a twin act. Spears sisters, we're back. I want a TV show. I want a movie. I want books. They should tell their story. That I want albums, performances, tour, everything. I want her to do it herself, choice. I want her to do the music she wants to do. Wouldn't it be great if she came out and she just like didn't do any pop stuff at all, and she just did some like folk indie, like so, I don't know, like something really. Imagine she came out and she just had the most amazing voice. And she was just so like, I can see it. I'm manifesting it for you, Britney. We're gonna get you out of here. We're gonna free you. Don't worry. Just stay safe. Stay safe and stay strong. So then in 2010, they were trying. It seems that the team were trying to just appease her a little bit, and they appointed her boyfriend at the time, who was Jason Travick. He's a talent agent, and they appointed him as a co-conservator. And it was a way to appease her because basically she was able to drive as long as he was beside her. So as long as Jason's with her, she could drive. And that was literally the bone they threw her. We'll make your boyfriend conservator and he can drive. I mean, he can be next to you while you drive. But anything else, no. They're not together anymore. And actually, what's interesting is there's not many paparazzi photos of her around that time, like before and after that time, but during this time when Jason was allowed to drive with her, there's loads of pap photos. Anyway, so we're gonna listen to another song, and this song, I mentioned this earlier. It's "Work Bitch." It's one of my favorite songs that Britney has done. It's so good, and it's actually motivational for me. I play it when I'm going to exercise because it's like, you want a Maserati? You want to you want to do this? You want to do that? You want to live in a mansion? You want to be fancy? You want to have money? I'm literally like, yes, I do. Yes, I do. I know full well that I need to get rid of this quarantine weight that I have piled on. I need to get myself like this doll. Like I need to be muscly and I need to just get myself healthy. Developing an eating disorder here. Okay, help me. And I have to, if I want it, I've got to work, bitch. And so I put this record on. I'm like, you better work, bitch. And it's very good. I love this song. However, I have to really try and separate my mind from what's happening on the song, because I just feel like she didn't want to do any work. And this was Jamie. I feel like Jamie Spears has said this to Britney so many times. You better work, bitch. You better work, bitch. I bet he's literally like, you want to have, but he ain't saying, do you want a mansion? Because she's already got that. He's like, you want to see your kids? You better work, bitch. How evil is that? You want to perform? You better work, bitch. You want to drive? You want to drive with your boyfriend and car? You better work, bitch. Evil man. You know what you need to do, Jamie? How about you work, bitch? You don't work. You don't do shit. You just walk around making decisions all the time. It is Britney that is the cash cow here. Britney is making the money. Britney is the one that we love. Britney is the star. Britney will forever go on, and you will forever you ain't nobody. You can't even do anything. You produced her, but that's it. We can all produce something. You do not deserve anything, Jamie Spears. I really am angry at this man. If I ever saw him, oh, he would get such a telling off. I'd literally be like, do you know what, Jamie? No, I'm not even going to go there. What I'm going to do is I'm going to play the song, Work Bitch, and I'm just going to enjoy it. The one thing I can be grateful to Jamie Spears is that he provided us with this wonderful song. Some way, but absolutely throw him into jail. Next to Trump. Put them together and they can sit in the same cell and they can talk to each other about and think about what they've done. Okay, let's play Work Bitch by Britney Spears. Work Bitch by Britney Spears, and don't you just think that is one of the best songs ever written, created? I just feel like it has a different tone to it now that we know what she's been going through, right? Now we know she's been forced to work against her own will. It just feels a little bit like, okay, bit dark. So anyway, let's go back to now this podcast. This podcast in Britney's Gram. After we were all a little bit sketchy about what happened to Britney, we're like, what the fuck's going on? It just gets really dark now. Okay, so we were all a bit worried about her. The podcast comes out and they put this voicemail out and they were like, look, we don't know if we should really put this out, but we have to because like we might get into trouble, but we have to just, how can you hear something like that and not put it out? So the podcast comes out and people are posting about it. It's gone frantic. Free Britney, free Britney. Because fans know, okay? And we knew what was going on. Britney's mum starts liking the tweets. Good old Lynn Spears. Poor Lynn. Lynn starts liking the tweets. Then Ali Sims. I don't know if people remember Ali Sims. She was like a singer back in the day that was going to be like another artist, but she don't know really what happened to it. She had some good music, I believe. If it's Ali Sims, I might have to do throwback to her songs. If it's who I think it is. I'm not sure. But she had some good songs. And apparently she's Britney's cousin. Oh, great. Britney's cousin and ex-assistant. Oh, maybe she's not a singer then. Maybe I'm absolutely talking nonsense. Britney's cousin and ex-assistant. She commented on Britney's post. On one of not Britney's post, one of the Free Britney posts. She commented on it saying, hashtag miss this sweet girl, hashtag Easter pics are heartbreaking, hashtag I'm silent because I have to be, hashtag Free Britney. I mean, if we ever needed confirmation, we just got it. And I'm gonna put up those people who are on YouTube. I'm putting up the pictures now of Britney Spears. She was in a mental institution at this time. She was allowed outside for one afternoon to have lunch with Sam, her boyfriend, and it was on Mother's Day or something like that. Mother's Day it was Easter. Sorry, it was Easter Sunday. She was allowed out of the mental institution, and there's pictures that the paparazzi caught of her. And if you're seeing them, you can see how I find them really upsetting and distressing. She looks more unwell than she has ever looked. She looks like she has been mind controlled and programmed. She looks dead behind the eyes. She looks empty. She looks confused. She looks sad. Her hair extensions and her, smoky eye, which aren't really on point usually, is even more worse here than ever. It means that she's been through hell. And this is her in a mental facility, allowed out for one afternoon with her boyfriend. And then she's rushed back into the car and she's taken back there. Very distressing. This is all happening. By the way, she's still in the mental facility when Tess and Babs put this post out. She's been in there for months. She went in there most likely early January. This podcast came out in April 11th or something like that. And so this is all going in April. She's still there. Okay. Hollywood Reporter, they interview this girl called Ali Sims. They interviewed her a while back. And she basically said that Jamie said that she wasn't allowed to come around anymore. She said, they're very controlling and I took a step back. I'm not going to fight 9 lawyers and parents. It was a team of lawyers that handled her divorce, child custody, and questions to her mental health. With Jamie in charge, they brought order to Britney's life. They pretty much cut everyone out. So it's clearly obvious what they did. They used her divorce and basically made out that she was crazy to everybody in the press. Fed people like Perez Hilton or put stories out about Britney and talk nasty things about her. Perez Hilton has a lot to answer for with the horrendous things that he's said about her and put out about there. All the press do. And then used that against her, used her children against her, threatened her and said that she has to basically do what they want. And then cut everyone out of her life. Cut her communication from everybody. Imprisoned her. Disgusting. Then after this happened, some alleged members of Britney Spears' team, basically said that they went to The Blast and did an article, and basically after so many people were like up in arms about this. Remember, Britney Spears' camp were saying that she had cancelled the tour because her dad nearly died. Then it comes out she's actually in a mental institution and was put there. And she's just saying that she's there for some me time. And we're all like, what this? And everyone's not believing it. And then now everyone's saying, Ali Spears, I'm silent because I have to be. God. And then this comes out from The Blast. Apparently a member from the team said that Jamie's illness was a smokescreen and that Britney was forced in by her family into the institution. But when they say forced, it means that they basically said she didn't want her to. She didn't want to go, but they felt like she needed to go for her own health. Bollocks. But that was apparently what like a source, a source. Is said in the blast. Anyway, Radar Online then did an article saying that Britney is unhappy with the Free Britney movement and doesn't get what all the fuss is about. That is literally what they said. Doesn't get what all the fuss is about. While she's in treatment, Britney is so concerned in a mental institution because she's so distressed because her dad's colon rupture's just happened, and she's so distressed and doesn't want to take a medication that she's gone into a facility, according to them, and she's so upset that people are saying that she needs to be freed. Britney doesn't get what all the fuss is about. That is literally in the Radar article. What a load of lies, Radar Online. How dare you? You've got this from the Britney Spears camp and you just took it and you're putting it out there. You know that is just cover up. There's no way Britney somehow in a mental institution found the way to speak to someone connected to Radar Online. This girl can't even speak to her own kids without people telling her. Are you kidding me? It's like the girl who's not even allowed access to a phone or a telecommunication is able to get in touch with Radar Online and tell them that she doesn't know what all the fuss is about. Oh, the lies, the corruption. Anyway, that's when we don't hear anything about. After we hear that she doesn't know what all the fuss is about, we don't hear from anything about her until TMZ did the Easter Sunday picture where Britney's going to lunch. And do you know what TMZ said on the picture that was released that we just showed you, that I just showed you, where she looks like she's about to jump off a bridge? The press said she looks relaxed and happy after being in a wellness facility. That was the post that went along with those pictures. Britney looks so happy and relaxed in her bohemian chic gypsy top, and her hair extensions falling out of her hair, and she's so chill, and she's just been at a wellness facility doing yoga, meditation, and just like totally chilling out. Liars, you liars. TMZ, how dare you. So anyway, Britney, and this is just another little tidbit that when Britney so this is kind of what's happened since then. I mean, I haven't got the full details. I'm going to give you the full details maybe in the next I'm going to do another episode about this after seeing the documentary, and I'll give you my thoughts. But I'm going to tell you kind of what's happened since then. It's kind of weird. Basically, Britney did go to court, and somehow she come out of the mental facility and she went straight to court and wanted to get rid of the conservatorship, and she's been in court ever since, and it's been back and forth. Jamie is still the conservator. Lou Taylor, I believe is no longer a part of the system anymore, and she's trying to get away from this. But Jamie's still there, and Samuel Ingham, I believe, is still there. I think now for the while during the trial, there was another company that was placed kind of involved in the conservatorship as well. But from what we can tell, from just looking at everything, it's very rigged. Samuel Ingham's supposed to be an advocate, but we don't believe that he's doing it. People have said that outside of court, they've seen him talking and having good conversations with Jamie and Jamie Spears' attorneys. And I don't think that there's much going on with it. Basically, in November, they went to court, and it was the judge was supposed to decide whether Jamie was going to stay as a conservator or not, and decided that he is, but that they're still going to pursue this. And what's interesting is that now they're pursuing all of this, you got to remember that everyone's being paid. So while Britney is trying to save her life, attorneys are being paid, the judge is being paid, the system's being paid, everyone's being paid. It actually is in everyone around her. It's in all of their best interests to stay in this court system and extend it and take as long as they can. While she's fighting for her life, it's actually in their best interest to keep this going because they're all getting more money. The lawyers, definitely. And who's paying for it? Britney. Britney's paying for it. Jamie isn't paying for it. Jamie went on a bloody fishing trip. While his daughter's going through this, Jamie goes on a bloody fishing trip. He's fine. But you know what? I've got a story here that when Jamie, when she was put into mental facility in 2008, Jamie took a job barbecuing at a Super Bowl party, whatever the fuck that means. And when apparently Britney begged him to come to the mental facility, and Jamie said, "Oh, he'll come when he's finished at the Super Bowl barbecuing." Your daughter's in a mental institution. You disgusting little old man. How dare you? Anyway, so I will report. I'm going to go and research properly about what's happened since then. I have been looking at the podcast, but I haven't written it all down. Like, I've kind of been getting all the information and just consuming it, but now I need to write it all down, as in what's been happening with the court process since then. But it's not been fair, let's be honest, and she's still struggling. Then Tess and Babs recently did their last podcast on Instagram, on Britney's gram, and they interviewed someone who's an attorney and a forensic psychologist and a court goer. And she was someone who worked for Andrew Wallet, who was the original co-conservator that was given a raise in 2018, but then quit 4 months later, who said that there was going to be irreparable harm to Britney if he wasn't taken off. And basically what she says is that she was working for Andrew Wallet's law firm when Britney's conservatorship was being kind of put through. And what happened basically was that Andrew Wallet he worked at the same place as this woman called Rebecca Swan. And Rebecca Swan is Jamie Spears' attorney. So he has his own attorney, it's Rebecca Swan. Jamie Spears and Wallet worked together. When the conservatorship happened, Andrew Wallet was made co-conservator with Jamie Spears, and because it would be a conflict of interest that Jamie Spears' attorney also worked at the same place as the co-conservator, Rebecca Swan ended up working for another company called Freeman Attorneys or something like that, and Andrew Wallet set up his own firm. And at his own firm, I believe this is where this particular attorney who was interviewed, called Katerina Parlot, worked. And basically what happened is that she said that at first, when it came through, they heard all this news that they're going to represent Britney, and she was like, "Oh my God, really glad to help her," because they all thought she was struggling at the moment. But they thought it was weird. She said she thought it was weird because she was under probate conservatorship and not LPS conservatorship. Because with a probate, that's elderly people. That's people who are suffering. Britney's said they never had someone who was that young on that kind of conservatorship. And when she asked Andrew Wallet about it, he said that it was an experiment to see if it would work. Wow. An experiment to see if it worked, and that they were testing the probate system. Basically, Andrew Wallet had access to all her information, and they made a mistake on his lawyers, is that basically all Britney's information that was meant to just be for his eyes was actually uploaded to the lawyers network. So every lawyer and every person who worked for the Andrew Wallet's firm was able to access Britney's information if they wanted. It's not like they knew it was there and could just like go and look for it, but it was actually up there for people. The reason why this particular attorney was able to find this out was because she searched on the system to find what's called a promissory note. And it basically, she was going to do a promissory note for someone else, and she was looking for a template. So what you do is you search on the system, you find a template, and then you just take the information out and replace it with the information that for your situation, your case that you're dealing with. And a promissory note is a promise to pay. It's either I'm promising you to pay something or you're promising me to pay something. So it's either that I've borrowed money from you and I need to give you some money, or you've borrowed money from me and I'm giving you some. And she says she doesn't know which way it was, but she did get this promissory note, and she basically searched for it, and Britney's came up. Some kind of promissory note from Britney's conservatorship. And as an ethical lawyer, she didn't read what was going on. She just deleted the information and put it on there. But she did later realize that that's like a breach. That's a confidentiality breach. And she came to court, as with Britney's kind of situation going on. This particular lawyer came out and said this is what happened, because she wants to basically help prove that these people were not capable of being conservators, and that they weren't good. And the fact that they actually did a breach, which was put Britney's information up for other lawyers to be able to search and find, I mean, that's naughty. It also proves, like, Britney isn't deciding that. So someone is either loaning her money out and waiting on a payment, or they've received a loan on her behalf and are promising to pay somebody out of her money. How bad is that? Like, that's so bad. It's not her decision to do that, but it's her money that they're doing it with. It's disgusting. So this girl has actually had, like, threats to her life, and, like, all this stuff happened to her. Like, this poor lawyer that's come out and said, hey, this is what's happening. Like, she said the court system is really angry with her. The law firm's angry with her. But she's had to, be honest and say, look, and have the evidence that I was able to search this, and that these people are not capable of looking after her career. And it's very scary, isn't it? So that's really a lot of the lead up to it. It's a lot of information. I feel like I've just hit you over the head. That's everything in a nutshell. All the different things that are out on the internet. There's a lot more out there, and we'll see if Framing Britney Spears, the documentary, which comes out February 5th, I believe, on a Friday. It's going to be aired on FX in America, but it's also going to be available on Hulu. I'm going to be watching it, and let's see if they discuss all the true information. Let's see if they put all this out. I really hope they do. I feel so scared for her life. We have to get her out. Let's get her out. We have to put pressure on it. So anyway, that's me done. Thank you for listening to this podcast. I believe we're going to end with a song. And you know what? If you're not listening on Spotify, then you should just go and listen to this song anyway in your own time. Like, the fact that you've listened this long, well done. Amazing. I talk far too much. Can't believe you're still here. I'm in shock. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Go and listen to Stronger by Britney Spears. That's what we're going to play. The new hashtag is apparently Britney is stronger. And so that's why we're playing this song. And this is her really being a strong motherfucking boss-ass bitch. Okay? Which is who she really is. And we're going to get her out of prison. We're going to get her out of this horrendous crime. She's like quarantined. By the way, she burnt down her own gym the other day. She was literally, her Instagram is a whole other story. We're going to talk about her Instagram another time. Instagram is a whole other story. And she's always in the gym. And she, like, the other day, she was like, oh my God, like, sorry, but like, hi guys, this is my gym. Like, I kind of burned it down the other day because I left a candle on and it burnt down. I'm like, bitch, you didn't just, but she burnt that gym down to, like, I've had enough of you. I'm going to burn my gym down. Get me out of here. Like, maybe the fireman will deliver me out. Bless her. Get her out. We need to get her out. We're going to get her out. I love her. Britney is stronger. Listen to Britney Stronger. And I'll see you next week. Oh, follow me on Instagram. I'm so shit at this. Follow me on Instagram. Call me Just Jordan. I was supposed to say this all the time and I always forget. Follow me on Instagram. I'm everywhere at Call Me Just Jordan. On TikTok, Instagram, YouTube. Call me Just Jordan. I'll be there.